2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Purlwise Podcast, knitting all day, let's look at it together. Purlwise Podcast, stitch by stitch, we can make whatever. Stitch by stitch, it's made by your friend Claire.
Hi there, happy holidays. My name's Claire. This is Purlwise. It's where I talk about my knitting, sometimes my sewing. And this is my special holiday episode for you, the Christmas special. I just wanted to come back quickly. I mean, we'll see how quick this is. But just show you all the things I made for gifts this year, because in the end there's quite a few. I didn't want to show them in my last video, just in case anyone I'm gifting to is watching. So I'm doing this a little bit in advance, and I'm going to post on hopefully Christmas Day for you. So Merry Christmas if that's what's happening and what you celebrate. Yeah, so I guess I'll just get started. I should say I'm wearing my Iila pullover. I guess I'll get up and show you. Ta-da! I love this sweater. It's knit and knitted in. And what can I say about it? It's from the book Ready, Set, Raglan by Meghan Fernandes and Lydia Gluck. And the colorway of knitted in is called My. You can see here it has a split hem with a bit of a high-low, 1x1 rib on the cuffs and the collar that I did a sewn tubular bind off on, and 2x2 rib on the bottom to match up with the broken 2x2 rib in the rest of the sweater. We'll say it's quite warm, but let's see how far I make it. Yeah, I love this, but it definitely is a deep winter sweater, so hopefully I don't have to change while I'm doing this. But yeah, let's just get started. I guess maybe I'll go in chronological order of things that I made. So yeah, my Christmas knitting philosophy has changed a lot over the years, because I have had some stressful Decembers where I was trying to get way too much knitting in, and it just wasn't fun. So I've kind of shifted in the last little while to thinking every year. Well, the idea was every year I would knit for one person, but it never quite works out that way. So I don't have a very big family. At Christmas these days, it's me and my mom and my sister, and my mom's two siblings, so my aunt and uncle, and my aunt's husband. So last year I didn't knit anything at all because I was really busy with school. And I just really needed a break. And B had died. I was a mess last year. And I'm hoping that this year will be better. So no knitting last year, but I think 2 years ago I knitted for my two uncles. So my mom's brother and my aunt's husband. And I believe I knitted them both hats. I think that was 2 years ago. And I haven't knitted anything for my aunt in a really long time, so I thought this was her year. So that was the first gift that I planned for, and I made her a DRK Everyday Cowl, which I can't even get all in frame. And I used the mystery yarn that was left over from my canvas pullover. Here, I'll put it on for you. I'm gonna get so hot. It's tricky with all this hair. There, that gives you an idea. I hate curly hair in the winter is a bit of a challenge, and I feel like this, when it's outside the scarf and like triangular, is not ideal. My aunt also has curly hair and is not a hat wearer, so I've never knit her a hat. So I thought a cowl would be nice. She does a lot of downhill and cross-country skiing. So I actually went with like kind of a closer size. I feel like a lot of the samples I saw, they're like pretty baggy. So I knit the adult small. I mean, she's a bit smaller than me, but I feel like maybe in the neck and face area we're similar. So I'm hoping this will be a good fit and a nice, like, nice for skiing. And this is really her color, so I'm really happy with it. Out we go. Oh boy. Yeah, and it was a pretty fun and quick knit to make. My seaming up the back isn't perfect, but it's not so bad. I will say that this, the pattern is designed for a DK weight yarn, and this mystery yarn is definitely more of a worsted. And I got gauge, but it was pretty tight. It's come out pretty dense, which is good, I think, for this like garment, but it was a bit tough on my hands. So while it went quickly, I did have to take lots of breaks because I was finding it a bit rough. And yeah, I think I'd make another one of these. I really like the I-cord edging. It's a fun construction. You're always kind of doing something, but also nothing. Can be mindless, but it also has a little bit of interest. So yeah, that's the DRK Everyday Cowl by Andrea Mowry. And I'm really happy with it. I feel like there's not all that much to say. But I would recommend it for gift knits. It's pretty nice. So that was the first gift. And the second gift, I had shown this yarn like 2 episodes ago, I think. I bought it in Vancouver. It's the John Arbin Appledore DK in the colorway Quench, and I made some mittens for my sister. There you can see how pretty it is. Such a beautiful yarn. We were standing in the store. I bought this at Wet Coast Wools in Vancouver, and it was just a yarn I've always wanted to try, and I essentially just went to the store to get a skein of it, just because I thought it was so pretty. And yeah, Mary and I, my sister, were discussing like what I would make with it, and she was like, it's essentially the same color as your skin, which it looks a bit different here, but I can see what she means. Just sort of like cool pinkish beige. So maybe not necessarily the best for a sweater or a hat. And I was like, oh, mittens would probably be good. And Mary said, oh, I would kill for a pair of mittens like that. So obviously I bought the skein and I made the mittens for Mary. And it is a DK weight yarn, but it's very thin for a DK, I find. I've heard other people say this. So I knitted up at a sport weight gauge with the idea that even if it did bloom a lot to like a DK weight, it's a mitten, so it's good if it's dense. I like that you can roll these up or keep them long depending on how cool it is. So the pattern I used was called the Ulla mittens, and I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's a free pattern on Ravelry. I'll put the name down below so you can go check it out. It's just a sport weight mitten with this nice like pointed decrease, a nice thumb. Yeah, just basic. Of course, well, not of course, but I do find that I think it's made with sort of longer longer wools this yarn, so my 1x1 rib did come out a bit messy. I feel like I've talked about this before, that sometimes I had complained once about my 1x1 rib looking messy on some socks I made with Garthenor Snowdonia sock, and somebody in the comments mentioned that it might be because of the long staple length of the fiber used, which makes it harder for it to like turn the corners necessary. That's how I think of it, to form into a 1x1 rib. But I don't dislike the look of it. It's just something to keep in mind. And if you ever are knitting up some 1x1 and you find that it looks like sloppy and you don't really understand why, that could be it. Just find something with a shorter staple length for a neater rib. But I like the look, and now that I understand why it happens, it doesn't bother me. So I hope Mary will like these. I had my classic issue of, and maybe I shouldn't say this because I don't want Mary to notice, but one sock, one mitten is always a little bit looser than the other. So I don't know if you can see, if I line these up, like the back one is just a hair bigger, but I think with wear that won't matter, right? That's what we're telling ourselves. So yeah, these are the Ulla mittens in John Arpin Appledore DK colorway Quench, and I'm really excited to give them to her. I just love the halo on this yarn. It's just so pretty. It looks great in this light. Yeah, and I knit these on some DPNs, which was fun because I haven't used DPNs in a while. Just some Lucca wooden DPNs. So that's that. Second gift down. My third gift is a sewing project, and it's gonna be kind of hard to show, but here, let me back up again. I made my mom an apron. Ta-da! So it is this kind of crossback apron style. I feel like you get the idea. I've been trying to like look at it, and it's difficult. Not on a body. It's kind of, you kind of need someone inside it for it to make sense. But yeah, I made this using the Helen's Closet York Pinafore pattern with the apron expansion, which is a pattern I bought a long time ago, and I've made one York Pinafore for myself, but I did like a gathered waist hack, and I do wear that a fair bit. But I had yet to make the apron, and Mom requested this, so she knows it's coming, but I didn't want her to see it. Yeah, so it's made with this linen that I bought. I got it from Pure Linen Envy, which is, I think, a Canadian website with good prices on linen. I get a lot of linen from there. And the color was called Flax Flower Blue or something. Flax Blue. Oh, I just drank some water. I got water on it. But yeah, it was a pretty quick project, I will say, other than the bias binding, which, as you can see, I did in a dark blue here. It doesn't show at all. I was worried it would show through, but you can't see it. Yeah, I did the View A, which has, it's a longer length. My mom is quite tall, not quite tall, but she's taller than me. I would say she's a tall person. View A is long, and it has these pockets at the side seams that kind of, you can see they bucket out a little bit. Yeah, I feel like I wish I could show you this on my body, but I did try it on, but because it's too small for me, it like, it just doesn't look right on me. So we'll see. I'm hoping it'll look great on her. I think it will. This is definitely her color, one of her colors. And yeah. Right, I was saying the bias binding was a bit of a lot. It's the very last step is bias binding, and you do like, this is the back. It's one long continuous edge all the way around. And it keeps going. It goes around the both sides of the straps all the way around to the other hem. So I was going to buy pre-made bias tape because I was like, I'll just make it easier for myself. But then I found a bunch of bias tape I had cut already, but I hadn't like sewn and assembled. And I was like, what's going to take me more time, walking to the store or making this bias tape? And I chose making it, although I think walking to the store would have been quicker, but whatever. It's like a 15-minute walk. Would have taken half an hour, and this probably took an hour. So whatever. But I fear that I wouldn't have bought enough because I really couldn't like conceptualize. I know it says in the pattern how much you need, but yeah, I serged the raw edges. Anyways, I should have timed. Pinning on the bias tape was the longest step for sure, and that took probably like 30 to 40 minutes to pin it all on. And then I tried to remember to time one pass. I think it took 15 minutes to go all the way around sewing. So when you bias bind, you have to pin it, you have to sew it down, and then you grade the seams all the way around, and then you understitch it all the way around, and then you fully encase and sew it down, and then you're like pressing in between. So that was a bit of a lot. I've said that twice now, I think, but it was very satisfying to finish, and I'm pretty happy with my bias binding results. And yeah, I kept worrying while I was making this that I was messing it up, like just because of the, as you can see, it's kind of I didn't want it to be like inside out or something, sew it the wrong way, so I just kept checking obsessively, but now I really want one. Another issue I had was that I ordered I think it said I needed 1.7 meters for her size in the pattern, so I ordered 2 meters, and I only used like half of it for some reason. Maybe my fabric was wider than 54 inches, I don't know, but it's too bad because I have maybe not enough to make my size though, because I think like this size just fit on the meter, like folded. So I don't know, I'll have to trace my size out on the pattern and give it a shot. I could make myself kind of a scrappy one probably with some linen that I have around, but I don't really want a scrappy one. I kind of want to make one for me to wear when I'm cutting hair, because I often leave and I'm like really itchy little hairs in my shirt. So yeah, that's my idea. It'd be kind of fun to have a matching one to my mom. I think I might make for me the shorter length, and there's a view with like pockets all the way across the front. like 4 pockets, I think. Like one big pocket that you split into 4. And I think I might do that for me just because when I'm cutting hair, there's more like I have stuff that I could put in my pockets. Yeah. Whereas I think my mom, I think she's just planning to wear this in the kitchen and around the house. But yeah, so I thought these pockets would suffice. They're also bias bound. Pretty satisfying. I'm really excited to give this to her. I hope she likes it. So yeah, I don't know. I think the dark blue is fine. It maybe wouldn't have been my first choice. I could have, I guess, made bias tape with the extra linen, but I feel like linen bias tape would be a little annoying to work with because it would fray so easily. Or I guess in theory, because it's on the bias, it doesn't fray that easily, but I think that it would. But I already had this cut into bias strips, so yeah, that's the Helen's Closet York Pinafore apron. I wish I had a better way to show you. Like, I don't even think it would come across well on a hanger, you know? It's just like a thing that needs to be worn. Oh, maybe that's good. Anyways, you get the idea. All right, so my last, I saved maybe the best for last. And it's not for my family, it's for my friend Kelsey, who's been my friend for most of my life, has 2 kids. Their names are Lucy and Gwendolyn, and just to give you an idea, if you've been watching for a long time, you may know what this means. First, I bought them this book of collected Frog and Toad stories, which actually I'd like to read before I give it to them. Because I've never actually read any Frog and Toad. I didn't grow up with it. I feel like it was a bit American or something. Like, I don't know of anyone who grew up with Frog and Toad stories. Yeah, and they're from the 70s. We were more of a Wind in the Willows family. But, yeah, if you've been here for a while, you may know that I started knitting Frog and Toad. I think I showed them maybe in my first ever podcast. And I feel like maybe I had Toad done or something. I can't remember. And then I may have shown them a second time, incomplete. And I have finally finished them. And are you ready? Oh, wait, my screen. Okay, there we go. Frog and Toad are finished. And I'm really, really pleased with them. It's funny because I was trying not to do too much gift knitting, and then I just found myself this week rushing to knit a bunch of tiny little clothes, and I was like, what have I done? So here they are. I will say, I feel like Toad's bathing costume came out a little roomy, but I'm trying not to be a perfectionist about it. I'm sure my gauge was maybe a bit off. Yeah, kind of hard to show them off, but their little hands. There you go. I want to show you their hands. Their little webbed feet. So yeah, these have been a few years in the making now. And they're knit, their little bodies are knit out of Artfill DK, I think. Artfill is a dyer here in Quebec. And then their clothes are Jamieson and Smith. This is Jamieson and Smith, and the yellow is Jamieson and Smith, and the orange here is, which to me, it's more of a coral in person. That is Rauma Finu. And I don't know the colorways, but yeah. And then their little eyes are just little scraps. And I just did their mouths this afternoon. Me and my frog and toad. So yeah, these guys have just been sitting around my apartment for a while. And I was like, I'm 32. Which, if you didn't know, I'm 32. I feel like I've never said that here before, but I'm 32. And I don't need them. And I feel like some kids would enjoy them a little more than I would. And it feels nice to get something I've been working on for ages out of the way and out of the house. And yeah, I just finished the jacket, and I blocked these things yesterday, and they weren't quite dry this morning, so I was drying them with a hair dryer before I started filming. So yeah, I hope Lucy and Gwen like them. I hope they like Frog and Toad. I just thought it'd be kind of fun to do the clothes in like kind of brighter colors. I don't know, just a little more eye-catching. And also I didn't have quite the exact colors called for. So yeah, the pattern, oh, who's the pattern by? I don't even remember. Frog and Cast. Kristina McGowan. And they're just so precious, so I just really wanted to show you these before I sent them off. Now that they're done, I'm kind of sad they're going, but I do have more, I have more of both of these colors, so I can make myself more if I decide that I'm 32 and I need them. I opted to do, a little single crochet around the edgings on the clothes, and I wonder if that was a bit bulkier than it needed to be. I guess it looks better if you pull his little bathing costume down. But then it looks a bit long. I don't know. I'm being a perfectionist. But I'm wondering if the bathing costume would fit Frog too. Let's try and see. Oh, I should show you them without clothes on. Like, it's unbelievable. Let's undress them. The pants are maybe still a little, no, they're not so bad. Here they are, nude. I just love the, like, how their shapes are different. Like, the more, I don't know, it's more like a frog and a toad. I don't know. Okay, whoops, I just dropped Toad on his head. Oh, and I stuffed them with rice, which I did before I had decided to give them to the kids. And I think that'll be okay. Right? I wish there was a way to make their arms stay down a little bit. I thought about pipe cleaners, but then I know those can be sharp, so I didn't want to get into that. So let's see if we can switch up their clothes. I feel like probably the pants are a bit long for Toad, but okay, it's not quite. The proportions aren't right for Frog, this bathing costume. But it's not terrible. Oh, Frog. There he is in the bathing costume. It's just not quite right for him. So we're doing it for science. We gotta know. I hope Lucy and Gwen will feel free to change up their clothes. Oh yeah, the pants are way too big for Toad. He's being drowned in these pants. That's pretty cute. Anyways. So yeah, that's my gift knitting. And I just felt like I couldn't go give these things away without showing you first. And I hope that this is a fun little episode, an all FO episode for you. Oh, he looks really cute. It's crazy. So yeah, they're there with their clothes switched, just in case you wanted to know. I'm 32. Yeah, it's funny to be sat at home knitting tiny clothes for Frog and Toad. You know, that's just a sign that you're getting older, probably. They're so cute without their clothes. I feel like I did an okay job on their mouths. It's not perfect, but when I made Toad first, and the pattern instructs you to make these little eyes, the white eyes separate. The pattern says to embroider them with the like pupils and stuff, and then sew them in. And as you can see, this eye ended up a little bit crooked. So when I did Frog, I left his eyes blank, and I embroidered them this morning with the white already sewn in to the head. And I think that was easier. You can see his little mouth here. I did his first, so I feel like it's not... That side's pretty good. This side, still pretty good. Yeah. My guys. Now I'm a little sad to part with them, but I'm glad to have gotten the book for context. And I just flipped through it earlier, and there is a story where he's wearing his bathing costume. So, where Toad is wearing his bathing costume. So, I was a bit worried about making I just felt like Toad's outfit was so loud and eye-catching, and I was a bit worried that Frog's was a bit, I don't know, just not as fun. But I think the fact that Frog has separates is really fun. And now that I'm finished, I'm a little bit happier with Frog than with Toad. Sorry, Toad. I don't know why the bathing costume is, maybe I should have gone down a needle size. Also, the finial is a bit thick, maybe. So I probably should have gone down a needle size, but it's fine. I'm just being a perfectionist. And Kelsey, you'll have to let me know if the girls think that Toad's bathing costume is too roomy, too much positive ease for Toad. So yeah, I'm sure what you wanted was a video of somebody taking off and putting the clothes on tiny frogs. That's my gift knitting. What else can I say? I'm looking forward to new knits in 2024. I do want to continue knitting for some other people. I have another gift planned for a friend. So we'll see if that materializes. I don't have the yarn for it. I'm currently trying to finish up an old whip. But I'm going to Ottawa tomorrow. It's the 18th when I'm filming this, so 1 week till Christmas. Yeah. I'm trying to finish up that old whip. I was trying to finish it before I go, but these took up a lot of my knitting time. They're so satisfying, like little bean bags, because they're filled with rice. So I'm not going to get that done, but I'll probably get it done right away in the new year, and then I have a new sweater I want to cast on, but I'll show you that when it happens. I have another little kind of secret project I'm not ready to share yet that I'm about to cast on, and yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's not a little project, it's a secret project, but it's maybe a big secret project. Ooh. So stay tuned, maybe I'll show you more of that in the future, depending on how I feel about it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to going to Ottawa tomorrow. Mary's gonna be there, my sister, and looking forward to just some chill time, a change of scenery. One of the things I like most about going to Ottawa is proximity to walking in the woods. It's very easy to get to some really nice trails from my mom's house. And she also lives on a little green space, which I often walk in, and maybe you saw in Vlogmas last year, I can't remember. But yeah, let me know what your gift knits were this year, and if you did any gift sewing. I hope that you're having a lovely and relaxing holiday. And if the holidays aren't a fun time for you, which I totally understand, and have been there and will probably continue to be there sometimes, I hope that watching this was a little bit fun, a nice break. I'm glad to maybe have kept you company, and I hope that, I don't know, coming up to January, which is always a hard month. Sorry, there's something on my screen, or is that a reflection in the camera? Oh, I think it's on my lens. Sorry. It's like this. It must be on my camera lens. Anyways, January's hard, and I'm just thinking about how to do cozy things, making some cozy plans. Definitely planning some new knits as part of that. Things I'm excited about knitting and having. Yeah, it's easy, I think, to forget every year how hard January can be. And so I'm just keeping that in mind. And I hope you are too. It's good to have lots of crafts that you're excited about. I think that makes a big difference when it's cold and dark, and yeah, I really like the winter, and so I want to be prepared for the maybe more challenging parts so that I can enjoy it. Yeah, right now it's raining here. All our snow has melted, but hopefully there will be some in our future because I love the snow. So yeah, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a nice time, as nice as possible. And if you aren't having a nice time, I hope that you find moments of rest and things that make you happy, to help tide you over until things get easier, which they inevitably do. Nothing lasts forever, even bad stuff. So yeah, I hope this wasn't too sappy of an ending, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.